In today's video, Mateusz Gamrot reacts to UFC booking Makhachev vs Volkanovski for new UFC 294 main event. Francis Ngannou posts new training footage ahead of Tyson Fury bout. Paulo Costa shares timeline for his return. USADA CEO explains how Conor McGregor was the key factor in the UFC wanting to part ways with them. The UFC demands apology from USADA over disgusting. Conor McGregor claims and announces partnership with new drug testing provider. And Khamzat Chimaev looking sharp ahead of UFC 294. UFC lightweight contender Mateusz Gamrot, originally slated as the backup fighter for the Charles Oliveira vs Islam Makhachev fight, has expressed his initial thoughts on the UFC's decision to book a rematch between Volk and Makhachev instead of his own matchup against Makhachev. Despite this, Gamrot says he remains unbothered by the situation, as the Polish fighter is confident that he will receive a title shot within the next year.
Teraz czy za rok, nie ma znaczenia. Jestem krok za wami. Do zobaczenia.
Francis Ngannou has posted some new training clips as he heads into the final chapter of his preparation for the Tyson Fury boxing match, which is scheduled for October 28th in Saudi Arabia. Paulo Costa has received some gifts from his Abu Dhabi fans after being forced out of UFC 294 due to an elbow injury. Costa also shared a timeline for his return to fighting.
I'm just sad because I cannot give back all respect, all love these people show to me, because I will not perform and not fight. I'm frustrated and sad, but you know, what I can do is just recovery faster than as possible and fight again. I want to fight before the end of this year. So much love, guys, from Abu Dhabi, from the around the world who support me. Thank you very much. You are guys amazing. Even Chimaev fan came here, wrote me this. He just asked me if Chimaev actually sent a message for Tamara, and we show him the message. He said, "Oh, I don't believe that," but you know, it's important to learn and to see how people can be amazing, even when they are opponent.
As we reported yesterday, USADA has announced that their business relationship with the UFC will come to an end on the 31st of December 2023. The organization also claimed that the relationship became quote-unquote untenable over the Conor McGregor situation. Now, in an interview on Unlocking the Cage, USADA CEO TRAVIS TYGART explained how Conor McGregor was the key factor in the UFC wanting to part ways with USADA.
You know, look, I don't want to say, one star, changed the whole anti-doping program. So it's kind of an impossible question to answer, and predict, the future on something like that. But what's crystal clear is in May, you look at statements by UFC leadership in late April, one of they talk about how great the program is and how great we are. And they say one of the reasons they hired us was because we don't have an interest in the business outcome, that our focus as an independent organization is to uphold the clean sport rules. I mean, that's a direct quote from one of the highest ranking people and who runs the program. We only care about clean sport and don't care about the success of UFC revenue wise and business wise. That's a quote from an article that ran in late April of this very year. That same sentiment was echoed in our May meeting, and it wasn't until I was crystal clear that if they fight him within the 6 months, that was going to be a deal breaker to our relationship. And a month or so later, that ended up them saying they wanted to go a different direction. So it's pretty clear. The dots are pretty easy to connect if you're aware of them.
The UFC are furious with USADA's statement from yesterday. The MMA organization has demanded a retraction from USADA for the press release, labeling the remarks as defamatory and a false garbage trash narrative. USADA statements were directly addressed at a news conference on Thursday, where Hunter Campbell, along with Senior Vice President of Athlete Health and Performance, Jeff Nowitzki, announced that the UFC's new partnership will be with Drug Free Sport International.
So the testing continues. Everything is status quo through the end of the year until, something happens. Otherwise, I don't know. It's going to be a complicated relationship for the next few months. Conor is 100% in the pool. He made himself available in every way. I can tell you because I personally was a part of it with him. He's conducted himself with integrity and honesty. He's done everything right. And he's, as you can imagine, very upset at the moment for the way that they've sort of used him, and they've never done that with any other athlete in history. And I think that's a really important point. What they've done in the entire history of the program, they've never done before.
But the narrative that USADA put out yesterday is false, it's garbage, trash. I can't sit up here and come up with enough adjectives of what they said and what that's done to this program currently. And along those lines, I want to make this crystal clear. I will never be involved with a program that compromises the core values of what a gold, and let's call it a platinum standard program, looks like. I've staked my career, my reputation, my credibility, in some cases the safety of myself and my family, and everything that I've done as a professional and on a personal level on maintaining these standards and fighting with everything I have for clean sport, and that will continue. As Hunter mentioned, Drug Free Sport International is a sample collection agency. They currently handle collection duties for the following professional sports leagues. They have over 325 long-term tenured sports clients, including the NFL, NCAA, Major League Baseball, NBA, WNBA, NASCAR, Horse Racing Integrity and Welfare Unit, PGA, LPGA, FIFA, CrossFit. They actually help out with some drug testing with various NADOs, National Anti-Doping Authorities throughout the world, and various sports federations. They virtually collect samples for everybody.
The UFC has also hired George Piro, who was the lead interrogator of the Saddam Hussein interrogation team, to head its new drug testing program.
And with that, I want to introduce, not in person here today, but to the UFC world, the independent administrator of the UFC's new and improved anti-doping program, George Piro. And when you talk about George Piro, you're talking about an individual with the highest level of integrity and credibility you can possibly imagine. He just recently retired as the special agent in charge of the FBI field office in Miami, Florida. He previously was the assistant director of the International Operations Division at FBI headquarters. He was the supervisor of the FBI's Joint Task Force. He's also a world champion no-gi jiu-jitsu masters level. He knows the sport. He knows what the athletes go through from his world-class level training.
Khamzat Chimaev is looking very sharp ahead of his upcoming UFC 294 clash against Kamaru Usman. Here are the top 3 memes we found on the internet today. The third place meme was found over Reddit and was posted by a user named Bantu-Kuk. The second place meme was found over Facebook and was posted by a user named Robert. And the top picked meme was found over Reddit and was posted by a user named Homeless Minsk. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the talk.